You've probably felt this before. You know exactly what needs to be done. You can describe it clearly. You might even have a plan in your head. But when it's time to begin, something in you goes still. The list keeps growing. The clock keeps moving. Your thoughts get louder. And yet, you don't start. It's not confusion. It's not ignorance. It's not even distraction. At least, not at first. It's a kind of freeze that happens while you're fully aware of what you're not doing. You sit there thinking about the task instead of doing it. You imagine starting. You replay the steps. You tell yourself you should move, and somehow that makes it harder. From the outside, it looks like procrastination. From the inside, it feels like being pinned in place. Most people respond to this moment with self-criticism. Why am I like this? Why can't I just do it? Other people don't struggle this much. The assumption is that if you cared enough, you would act. So when action doesn't happen, you conclude that something is wrong with you. But what if the freeze isn't about caring too little? What if it's about caring too much? When something matters to you, it carries weight. Not just the weight of the task itself, but the weight of what it represents. If this goes well, it confirms something. If it goes badly, it confirms something else. If you try and it's mediocre, that feels risky. If you don't try, at least the outcome stays hypothetical. So the task stops being a simple action. It becomes a statement about you, and statements are heavy. You might notice that you can do difficult things when the stakes feel clear and external, under pressure, with a deadline, with someone waiting. In those moments, you move. But when the task is self-directed, when it's about your own goals or standards, the hesitation grows. Not because you lack ability, because the meaning attached to the task is more personal. The freeze often appears when a task feels like proof. Proof that you're competent, proof that you're disciplined, proof that you deserve whatever you're working toward. That's a lot for one small action to carry. So you sit there, thinking about the first step, and instead of seeing a simple beginning, your mind jumps to the end. You imagine the full project. You picture the time it will take. You anticipate the effort. You fast forward to how you'll feel halfway through. You try to hold the entire thing at once. No system moves easily under that kind of weight. It's easier to call it laziness than to admit how much pressure you've wrapped around something. Laziness sounds simple. Pressure is harder to see because it hides inside expectations. Sometimes the expectation isn't even current, it's accumulated. Years of being told you have potential, years of being praised for doing well, years of quietly believing that if you try and fail, it will cost you something. So you protect yourself without realizing it. Remaining still preserves possibility. Starting makes it real. There's also a quieter layer. When you've been overwhelmed for a long time, mentally juggling responsibilities, deadlines, obligations, your system learns to conserve energy. Effort begins to feel expensive. Even when the task in front of you isn't objectively huge, your body remembers past strain. So when you think about starting, something inside you tightens. Not dramatically, just enough to hesitate. That hesitation gets misinterpreted as weakness, but hesitation can be protection. When you're frozen, it often isn't because you don't know what to do. It's because the first step feels larger than it actually is. Your mind collapses the beginning and the ending into one. Writing one paragraph feels like committing to the entire report. Sending one email feels like opening the door to more demands. So you delay. Not because you don't want progress, but because the entry feels too steep. Notice how you describe tasks to yourself when you're stuck. I need to get my life together. I have to fix this. I should be further ahead. These aren't specific actions, they're global judgments. They make the present moment feel like a referendum on your entire identity. That's not a fair starting condition. When everything feels urgent and important, nothing feels approachable. The brain doesn't know where to land, so it hovers, and hovering looks like paralysis. If you slow down and observe the freeze without attacking yourself, you might see that the discomfort isn't about the task alone. It's about what might happen once you begin. What if it's harder than you expect? What if you lose momentum halfway through? What if you discover you're more tired than you thought? Starting removes the safety of imagining, and imagining is comfortable because it's controlled. Action is uncontrolled. It reveals things. It reveals your current energy, your current focus, your current limits, and sometimes you'd rather not know. This is why telling yourself to just push through rarely works. Pushing adds more force to something already tense. It doesn't address the tension itself. The shift isn't about becoming stricter with yourself. It's about seeing the freeze clearly. When you realize that the stillness is a response to pressure, not a character flaw, you stop adding extra weight. The shame softens. And when shame softens, the task shrinks slightly. You don't need to analyze your entire psychology in that moment. You just need to notice the weight you've attached. Ask yourself quietly, what am I making this mean? Am I telling myself that this one task determines whether I'm capable? Am I assuming that starting requires a surge of energy I don't currently feel? Am I turning a simple action into a verdict? Often, the freeze is less about the mechanics of work and more about the story you're telling around it. The story might be, if I start, I have to finish perfectly. Or, if I can't do this easily, something is wrong with me. Or, if I don't feel ready, I shouldn't begin. Those stories raise the cost of the first move, and when the cost feels high, you hesitate. There's a subtle difference between wanting something and bracing for it. When you're bracing, your body tightens, your breathing changes, your attention scatters. You think you're preparing, but you're actually resisting. The resistance isn't conscious, it's protective. You might even distract yourself in ways that feel productive, organizing, researching, planning, because those actions let you feel engaged without fully committing. They keep you near the task without stepping into it. That space near the task feels safer than the task itself. But staying near something isn't the same as beginning it. When you recognize that the freeze is about meaning, not ability, you stop arguing with yourself. Instead of demanding movement, you adjust the weight. You don't need to dismantle the entire mountain. You just need to separate the first stone from the rest. Instead of telling yourself, I have to complete this, you might say, I'm allowed to touch it. That shift sounds small, almost insignificant, but psychologically, it matters. Touching isn't finishing. It isn't performing. It isn't proving. It's just contact. Contact feels lighter than commitment, and lightness invites motion. This isn't a productivity hack, it's a permission shift. When you give yourself permission to begin without guaranteeing an outcome, the tension lowers. And once tension lowers even slightly, your system doesn't feel as threatened. Sometimes you'll find that once you're in motion, the heaviness dissolves faster than expected. Other times it won't, and that's okay. The point isn't dramatic transformation, it's reducing unnecessary pressure. You are not your hesitation. You are a person navigating internal weight. If you look back honestly, you'll likely see that you have started many things before. You have followed through. You have shown up when it mattered. The narrative that you're fundamentally incapable doesn't hold under evidence. The freeze is contextual. It shows up in specific situations, under specific pressures. It is not your identity. When you understand that, the next stuck moment feels different. You might still hesitate, but instead of spiraling into self-criticism, you recognize it as a signal.